Welcome back for another exciting episode here at Flex Your Future. We're going to have an amazing guest, but before I get into it, I want to just address a few people that had a lot of great questions for me. In terms of Flex Your Future, TrustInEd presents Flex Your Future. TrustInEd is an education career consulting organization that you can go into the website, TrustInEd.org. It's free to the public, really for those individuals looking to seek knowledge, understand what kind of skills they need in order to progress in life. Flex Your Future is a curriculum from 6th grade through 12th grade, a comprehensive curriculum that's given to the districts, all right? So when you go to flexyourfuture.org, you're going to notice that requires a specific login. That's for teachers to teach information. TrustInEd.org is for the general public. All right, so now that I got that taken care of. As I mention to you all the time, my main goal is to find individuals that come from various backgrounds. And again, I don't know a lot. I only know what I know, and my goal is to bring individuals that have an expertise in their field. And I was able to find an individual who has a strong background in journeyman and laborer. And he's going to talk a lot about what kind of career options that fall under that category. Without further ado, this individual next to me, his name is Melza Jordan. I want to welcome you to the show, sir.
How you doing?
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. So before I get into it, Melza, can you tell the audience just a little bit about who you are and how did you end up in that career?
Okay. Again, I'm Melza Jordan. Melza Jordan Jr. because it's one before me. So
one before.
It's one before me. Now, basically, I've been into real estate since I was 19.
Okay.
Got my first apartment building at 19. Bought a house like 30 days later, and that kind of got me into the rehabbing phase of things and just getting a love for construction.
Okay.
So as I move forward with that, I learned a lot. A lot of good. There's a lot of bad, there's a learning curve to it. And a lot of that stuff is not taught. A lot of that stuff is learned through basically living it. So going through that, I learned that I would never want to be a landlord again. But I started to gain appreciation for the construction side of things and, making what is not as beautiful as it can be as beautiful as it can be. So after the apartment building and the house, I initially left real estate alone for a little bit, went on the road, did some music. After I did the music, came back, had my daughter Mila.
Okay.
And I was like, well, what can I do to supplement my income and still be around for my daughter?
Which a lot of adults have to do in certain situations. And I want people to understand this is real life. Go ahead and continue.
So I began to basically transition from coming off the road doing music to, doing music back home. And one of my friends, Anthony Bradley, that had a construction company, was like, hey, I need some guys to come on out. Some guys that's going to really work. Would you like a job? So I didn't know exactly what I'd be doing at first. And when I stepped in, we were laboring, just doing, I was an apprentice. We were just digging holes, things that apprentices kind of do as laborers. And it went from that to them asking me, my background, which is technical background, computers, stuff like that, dealing with music, studio, I had the computer side down pat. So he was like, well, there's a position in Chicago at this company called MPL. It's sewer work. Okay. A lot of other guys like, well, we don't know about doing sewer.
You don't know about, listen, hey. I got to jump in real quick. Yeah. I'm one of those guys. I don't know about doing sewer, right? But do continue.
At first, I was worried of it at first, but I was like, let me try it and see. So I get up there. We have a camera reel that has the camera inside of it. We had a computer to the side that has a monitor and everything, and then we had a locator where we locate the sewers out. And I gained a love for that process.
Wow.
And we were doing it for Nicor, wherever Nicor ran the gas pipes. I came in and I cameraed the sewers just to make sure that they knew where it was at, how deep it was, and where the trajectory of the sewer line. So basically, learning the underground side of things. And then that moved on to me doing like a lot of side jobs, things of that nature. And I'm learning sewer side, and that went to electrical, then that went to lighting, and just the rehab side of things. It just pushed me into that.
So you basically found your niche.
Yes.
By looking for a job, and when you realize, hey, I have to provide for my family, you got thrown into something that you started to just enjoy.
Yes.
And then you took it upon yourself to go deeper. And I want to just pause right there, because this is something that a lot of individuals are faced with, right? We wake up, we're like, hey, I want to go and do this. But life doesn't have it set up that way, right? And you have to be ready mentally, right? We talk about this word pivot, right? You have to be prepared to pivot in life.
Yes, definitely.
And don't be afraid, because the next person, right, will take that opportunity. For those individuals that were scared to go down in those sewers, which would have been me, you took on that challenge, and it gave you so much more opportunities because the experience mattered, right? Doors started to open up. I want to take a step back. I noticed that you talked a lot about apprenticeship. So this is one of the main reasons why I felt so intrigued to bring you onto the show, because you have such an amazing background. And people are unaware about, well, what kind of skills are needed, right? Where do you start? So can you talk, what is an apprenticeship? How did someone go about it? And basically, with your background, what are individuals looking for? And I don't even know what other questions to ask about that industry, because I don't know about it. So can you tell us about it?
Okay, so apprenticeship is basically you going through the fire. A lot of school, basically, like if you go to college, you're looking at the fire.
Okay.
You're saying, I see the fire, but you don't know that fire is hot.
Okay.
Apprenticeship is, I see that fire down there, and they say, yeah, you see it, well, you finna go feel it. The way that you learn, it could be electrician, it could be plumber, boilermaker, whatever. The way that you learn in the trades is you get down in that fire and feel how hot it is. And that's the way that basically if you can make it in that position or not. So as an apprentice, like with the laborers, we go through a 2-year apprenticeship. You may have plumbers that go through a 5-year, electricians maybe 3 to 5 year. I'm not 100% sure with them.
Okay.
I just know as a laborer, it's a 2-year apprenticeship.
Okay.
Different scale. Once you go through your apprenticeship, this is a good thing for people getting into it for the monetary reasons. Once you go through the 2-year apprenticeship, you pop up to scale. So you may start at 28 an hour, but as soon as you're done with that 2 years, you pop right up to 54 an hour.
Nice.
And we get raises on time every year. But that apprenticeship is going to teach you everything you need to know. Also, this is a great thing about it. As you're going through the apprenticeship, you have access to other classes. Like if you want to go for asbestos removal, if you want to go for mold removal, if you want to go for, like I do the sewer camera work, at the apprentice hall, they have classes for that type of stuff. So when you go in, you sign up for the class, you take the class, you get your certifications. Okay. So your main thing as a apprenticeship, going through the apprenticeship, is to get as much training as you can. So when you get on that job site, you become more of an asset than a liability wherever you can.
So you were talking about apprenticeship. I heard you talking about certain certifications as well. So do you get certifications that are tacked onto apprenticeship, or is that something that's different? And what are the type of certifications that individuals are looking for in that journeyman laborer role? So
it's those certifications are specific to us laboring.
Okay.
But say if I got my certification for asbestos, we go back to that. I'm certified.
I see what you're saying.
So if I'm doing other work, hey, here's my certification. I can use that. It's not just like you can only use it in a position of being a laborer. Like me, I'm a local 75 laborer. I don't just have to use my certificates for the laborers union.
That's what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense. So thank you so much for elaborating on that. And it's really important to understand, well, when you say apprenticeship, when we talk about certifications may be specific areas, right, of skills that they're looking for. So understanding what kind of skills is required. That's why you got to understand, well, what is it that you're looking to do, right? Understand what your passion is, doing that research. An apprenticeship, is there a specific title that the apprenticeship have? Like, how would one look up apprenticeship if they wanted to go into like journeyman laborer, or is that a thing?
So for us, no, it's apprenticeship, and the way that it works, you have some halls that are hiring halls, you got some halls that are non-hiring halls. The hall that I'm with is a non-hiring hall. We go to the hall, whatever certification stuff we do need.
I'm sorry, real quick, what is a hall?
Basically, the hall is I'm gonna put it in layman's terms, it's club.
Okay, got it. All right, I'm like hall.
We put it like that. It's a club.
Okay.
I'm part of Local 75.
Okay, I see what you're saying. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, you have Local 2, and some are regional based. So Local 2, Chicago. Local 75 is in Joliet.
So individuals, if they were looking for an apprenticeship, it's important to figure out what's the nearest hall and regional site.
It could be what's the nearest hall, or it could be who is accepting apprentice at the time.
Got it. Okay.
When I started doing my work, I was Local 75. Another guy that came in, he used a local out by Byron. I don't want to get I don't know if it's 582. I don't want to get the number wrong. But because of that's where the company was, and that's where they, got a man at. So it just kind of depends.
Got it.
If it's local or if it's just good for the company that you're going to work for.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to explain all that information because I would be lost, right? And this is truly important. This is why we do what we do here and bring in an experienced individual on the set to really talk to you and help you and guide you in the right direction. So that way you know what kind of research should you be doing. Let's talk about, well, what kind of work are you doing? Now, you talked about it, but on a day-to-day, right? On a typical day, what does a journeyman laborer, what does that day look like?
All right. So it's different facets again. Say if we're doing underground work, let's just go with the underground work for NICOR. This is what I'm more comfortable with. I may get to the job site, and it's a different job site. It could be a different job site every single day. When you're a laborer, you go where the work is, or whatever company you're working with goes. They may put you with a crew that's in an area that may be out there for a month. Okay. But then they may say, hey, we need you to go to a different crew. They need what you do over here. Okay. And keep in mind, you got some laborers that's, like I said, that's there for a paycheck, and you got some that actually love the work. So those kind of pop around because people are like, we want him.
I see what you're saying.
So, might get to the job site 6 o'clock in the morning. A lot of times we may start at 7 o'clock, but you try to get there a little bit early. Okay. So if we're running gas pipe, I know if I'm going to dig for today, I know what areas I'm digging at because there may be, let's say, electrical on the ground. There may be existing gas pipe.
Are you talking about those little flag things that be outside?
That's called Julie. We get hit that in a second. Okay. But yes, if you got the green flags, the green is the sewer. The blue flags is water. The orange flags is communications. The yellow flag is gas. So it just depends, on what's under you.
I see what you're saying.
So if I know that there's going to be a line through the ground coming down this path, and I see a yellow flag here, blue flag here, so me as a laborer, I'm probably going to have to spot those utilities on the ground. That's what so I'm going to dig up that gas line. So when they run that pipe, when they bore the pipe through, I can see that board coming through and I can see where the gas is at so they don't hit it.
That's what you're saying. That's a very important job.
Oh, yes.
That's a very important job. Continue. That is a very important job. You should definitely, so I can see why somebody would want someone that's highly
skilled, yes,
professional, skilled, certified in that area.
Well, it takes a certain touch also. You can't just get anybody off the street and say dig here. Electrical. Right. If you have a spade shovel and you put that in the ground on top of that electrical and you're hitting it wrong, you're going.
We just gonna stop right
You
there. We
understand.
just live and we understand.
So professionally wise, you have to know what you're doing out there. Another part of laboring, for me, I work at the nuclear plant for the nuclear turnarounds, mostly Dresden and Byron. So as a laborer there, I help out as far as keeping the contamination levels down for the radiation. Once they take the head of the actual reactor off, we go down, we clean, we make sure that, again, contamination stays down. I might be working with the Boilermakers. So I have a certain skill set that I do that I know when they're looking for certain things of what they need. I either bring to them, I have set up for them so that their job is easier, so that we get the turnarounds done faster and more efficient.
It sounds like a lot of different options one can go into with a labor, because I heard the word nuclear plant. The first thing that comes to my mind is just chemical engineering, right? In other technical terms that I will not act a fool and act like I know. The first thing that comes to my mind also, second thing is Homer Simpson. What was his position, right? I think he was in charge of safety. But there's so many different routes. Now, wow, can you kind of just highlight a little bit of, and I'm not trying to scare you, but we need to understand the importance of educating oneself. When you're talking about working in a nuclear plant, contamination, I'm assuming that you have hazard gear on and some protective gear.
Yeah. So
all right. Can you kind of talk about that as well?
It depends on what part of the plant you're in. So you have, I'll just explain real quick, a nuclear plant, so that when I explain, what we wear, it makes sense. So in a nuclear plant, you got two different plants. Basically, nuclear fission is the atoms exploding, creating heat to heat up water quicker than any other process to make steam to turn the turbine. That it generates power.
I don't know that.
So, if I'm a laborer and they say, okay, you're in a turbine building, I really don't need other stuff. I'm not around the reactor. I'm not around reactive water or anything like that. So in a turbine building, I go in my regular clothes. We have safety gear, like if we're up high, we may have to tie off. Tie off means like, make sure we're tied onto something. So if we fall or trip or anything like that. But if I go into the actual reactor, we don our gear and we put on booties on the feet. We put on the yellow suit. It's what you would see, kind of like what Homer Simpson was wearing.
Okay.
Some parts you're good with just that, and just like a hood on. Some parts we have to put on the whole HEPA, basically HEPA gear to make sure that we don't breathe in any airborne contamination or anything like that.
Got it. So that was a specific industry, and I was just curious.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm sorry I took that away from you guys. Hopefully, if you are looking for that, now you know. If you wasn't, don't blame me. So thank you so much for sharing that information. If you can kind of talk now about, we know the danger, we know what's needed, we know the level of expertise. What do you enjoy most about being in that type of role? And not just the nuclear, just that role at work, right? Journeyman Laborer.
Well, I will say, I have to go back to the nuclear plant with that. You're seeing something that most will never see. Once they drain the nuclear pool and you're able to see how deep it is, and then when they fill it back up, like I know on The Simpsons and everywhere it's green. They got green. I can't explain it because it's not real, but because you would never touch something that close.
Okay.
But the actual fuel rods are in the pool. They're 3 floors below you, and when you look down there, it glows a beautiful blue, cobalt blue. The water is clear. And in my position, once they fill the pool up, I'm able to sit I can be right here by the water. Now, if you touch the water, you're going to jail.
Immediately. Do not be curious.
But anything that drops in the water, if you're negligent, you're fired. You can never get back in there again. Any piece of, and it could be a small piece of clear paper that goes into that pool. goes to the bottom, it can cause a meltdown if it gets clogged in the wrong thing down there. So
Makes sense.
For me, that's the best side about a lot of other people will never get the chance to see that.
Right.
And me in my role, I work with like the steam generators, and I work with the boiler makers, and things like that in there. So I'm able to be around the reactor. I take in more radiation than the average person, but I got 2 good legs, two good feet, and I like the experience while I can.
Why not, right?
Right.
And I thank you so much for really talking about the impact, right, that it could have on an individual, and also the benefits. So there are certain things that people just don't get a chance that I actually enjoy.
Right.
For me, I'm more of an office person. I like to sit behind the desk,
Right.
And then I may give a presentation here and there, and that's it. I don't like danger. I'm not doing that. So great job, and I thank you. And that's in understanding who you are, right? I'll give you a primary example. Somebody asked me to do something with the lights and electricity, and I looked at them and I said, hey, I'm just not that guy. All right? Don't be afraid to tell somebody that you're not that person and we're going to hire somebody. And you have a certain level of skill. Like, is it Liam Neeson? I've been hired with a certain level of skill. All right? So you gave me a lot of information about that. Can you kind of talk about, you really touched on it, but in your own words, can you really talk about what are some challenges that people should be aware of getting into this type of role?
Okay. It is a process. Apprenticeship. You may have a hall that only bring in a certain amount of people a year. And you I don't know if they want me to touch on this. You got some people that come in, it's kind of like a nepotism thing. They may come in, they may get to bypass apprenticeship and pay their way in. For me, it's better for a person to go through that apprenticeship so that they can learn, the skills that they need. If you step right in, I'll give you a story. There was a guy.
We got to make sure that we're protecting those individuals in their company. So go ahead.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. There was a guy. You know what? I want to tell that. I'm gonna tell my first. I'll tell my first day. Again, I was with a company called CCS. Again, shout out to Anthony Bradley for putting me on. And showing me the ropes. We're out. We had to run 4-inch conduit under the street, which is after they run the conduit, they take communication lines and they push it through.
Okay.
So we ran the conduit, and he says, "Go to the truck and get me the hose out of the truck." Seems simple, right? I'm green at the time. All right, I'm doing whatever they asked me to do.
All right.
I go to the truck, I open the door, I grab the hose, and I go to step out the truck, and I missed the first step. I fell, and the first thing that hit the floor was my back. If there was a curb, I could have probably broke my back, injured my back, So as a laborer, you're around different terrains. You may come down the street and it's barricaded off, but if you're on the other side of that barricade, you have holes that just may be covered with plywood. Might just be a cone there. So there's a lot of different hazards when it comes to that. Again, in the nuclear plant, there's been people that if they don't listen, there's an area of the nuclear plant called IMB, the inner missile barrier. It's where the steam generators are, and there's a lot of radiation. So you may go into the IMB, but you don't know what you're looking for. Just standing there, you don't feel that radiation, but you're taking on radiation. Different parts of that nuclear plant, there's more radiation kicking off of these certain elements. So if I'm green and I'm in there by myself, I don't know. I don't know where I should be standing. I don't know what to look for. I don't know the lines overhead. It's just screaming with this contamination or radiation or whatever. Water sitting on the floor in a nuclear plant. Any other place you might say, I'll get the broom and get it up, or get the mop and get it up. Well, in a nuclear plant, that might be contaminated water.
Right.
So you have to have the know-how. Yeah, you have to be able to decipher the right things to do on job sites, and that's the one thing that training teaches. If you don't go through training, you never know.
Got it. So I know we're about to wrap up in a few minutes, but I really want to talk about a certain skill, right? So you talk not about certifications, but in this industry, what kind of skill is needed? For me, I have a strong communication skill, right?
Right.
What skills are people needing to have going into this industry?
The biggest thing is being hands-on. You never know. Again, you never know what type of situation you're going to be put in, what type of job role you're going to be put in until you get there sometimes. Right now, it's a big thing doing the solar farms.
Okay.
We have classes for those. So you go in, you take the classes. Once you get out there, now you know, okay, boom, this is my role, this is what I'm going to be doing or whatever. So it's kind of hard to say. I'll put it like that until you know specifically what you're going to be doing.
Hey, you need to want to work with your hands, right? For those people that do not like changing tires, it's probably not for you, all right? So I would like to, again, thank you so much for coming on the show. I thank you. Melza Jordan, people.
Yes.
For our next show, we are here the second Monday of the month. Second Monday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. You can always watch us live on TrustInEd.org. You can click on the link. It takes you directly to the CAN TV live streaming. And then also go to the YouTube to check this out. For more information on Flex Your Future, please visit flexyourfuture.org. For information on TrustInEd, please visit TrustInEd.org. Again, we want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being with us, and you have an amazing day.
Can I say one last thing?
Yes.
There's a need for the tradesmen right now. Yes, you do have college, and I push anybody to go if they can, but there's other options. If you want to know about the other options, you could just put in your local labor union or electricians or machinists, operators union, and get the information that you need, because there's ways to make whatever money you're looking, coming right out of high school, as a trades.
Look into the information. That's why we do it. Thank you again for coming out. You enjoy the rest of your day.